All right, speaking of bashing on quarterbacks, where's that Phill Simms?
Is he on the phone right now?
I think they're probably calling him right now.
Okay, well, hold on. Before we get to him, I do. So we have a whole lot of podcasts we do here.
Yes.
PFT podcast as well.
Yeah.
We've got the podcast here on Unbuttoned. Catherine Tappan also has a podcast, and we're right in the heart of the Stanley Cup final between the Bruins and the Blues, and she's got the On Her Turf podcast that she's been doing for a couple of years now.
Yeah, right.
Going strong. Has NFL legends on there. Amy Trask led the business operations for the Raiders for years and years and years with Al Davis. I was listening to that podcast a little while ago, and Amy talked about how she got into shouting matches with Al Davis. Just really interesting stories from a lot of the men and women throughout sports throughout the years here, the past few years. And so it's another podcast we do here on our NBC Sports.
Catherine is awesome, first of all. I mean, she's got a great feel for all sports. She loves it. She lives it. She is like total sports nerd. I mean, truly. I fly back with her from Notre Dame on Saturdays, and I mean, we sit in the seat, and she's reviewing how she did on TV. She's right on looking at every sports story in the world. I'm like, Cam, can't you take a break for like 4 seconds later?
Grinder.
Over there, but she is. She's a grinder. She's got a great way. She's got a ton of connections through sports, got a lot of great stories. And she's a cool chick from Jersey, and you know I'm a little partial to those chicks
absolutely.
from Jersey.
Yeah, you move them up in your power rankings all the time. The latest episode, she's got Olympic ice hockey gold medalist Hillary Knight, Kendall Coyne Schofield, who's married to Michael Schofield, starting right guard for the Chargers as well. So a lot of cool stuff on the On Her Turf podcast with Catherine Tappan. All right, time to welcome in Dad.
Yo, let's do it.
Can I call him Dad too?
Yeah, you can call him Dad. Call him whatever you want. Disrespect him. Do whatever you want.
Phil, are you there?
Ahmed, I am here. Hey. You can disrespect me.
No,
I don't care.
I would never have a desire to do that.
Listen, finally I heard my son say something that was true on these podcasts. He is a nerd. We just haven't decided what category to put him in.
Right, what kind of nerd.
Yeah.
So, hey, first of all, welcome back from Barbados. Correct, you were in Barbados for a while.
Yes, I was. People laugh at me. I go to sunny places for vacation when I don't go in the sun. So that's really...
So that's what I want to know. How many times were you in the sun? And if you did, what was the SPF value of the sunscreen when you went?
I had baby sunscreen on. It was like glue. It was unbelievable. I put it only on my face because I wear long sleeves with my collar turned up with a hat with flaps that fall down to my shoulders, and I walk in the water. I know people are laughing, and I couldn't give a crap. Just look at my big old ass as I walk in the water, and that's it. I don't care.
You're not alone. There are a lot of people like that as well. But I do want to know. So why do you hate the sun so much? What do you have against the sun?
I have tremendous sun. I have skin problems everywhere. From head to my toe, it's either been operated on, removed, burned, this, that. I mean, Christopher, he knows. He has seen me. Yes. Sometimes I look like, I'm about 1 day away from death because I've got stuff peeling off of me everywhere just trying to combat it. It's work.
It's been a struggle.
Okay.
So the sun has been bad to you. I don't blame you. Fight back against the sun. Absolutely.
Then I go swimming at about 5 o'clock because down there the sun goes down about 6. So the sun heat is done. And, hey, come on. And I'm in the water the whole time, and it's great in that hour. And we have a good time. I find ways to keep busy. It's amazing. I read, do this, go to the gym, hang out, sit under the umbrella, talk to them, whoever's with me for a few minutes. My wife, I had my son go with me with his girlfriends. That was great. We had a great time. And, hey, just sit at the table, bring the food, baby, so that was good, too. So it was all good.
Well, welcome back. Welcome back.
All right, here we go.
Back to work.
All right, so back to work. All right, so, hey, Dad, the first thing I want to hear you. I mean, the late, great Bart Starr passed away this weekend at the age of 85, so we gotta pay our respects there. But, it's something I talked a little bit on PFT with Mike Florio today. We lose the greatness of some of these old-time quarterbacks at times because there's not NFL films and all these highlights all the times to show what they are. The numbers don't look as sexy. So I would love to hear your take on Bart Starr and what he was as a player and everything he brought to the game.
Well, he was such a nice person. He was very religious, treated people the right way. I met him many times. He gave me a little speech about, what I needed to do as a quarterback to make the team come along early in my career because we were terrible. And so that was really cool. And I think the big thing about him, I heard you say it this morning, so true. He was physically more gifted than we think, and we don't give him credit for.
Right.
He was a very good thrower of the ball, and, in an era where the climate change is different now, because he played in Green Bay, and they probably had one sunny day a year.
Yeah.
And the rest of it was snow, wind. I mean, he played, and I remember him growing up. He played a little bit. I was very young, of course, but I still remember it. Always bad weather. You're right, we didn't even get highlights in, but just a better quarterback, and it's kind of sad. And I heard the numbers you were talking about, and that's probably another reason why it's not talked. The numbers have changed so drastically. And the big thing I heard you guys say, which was really cool, he played in an era where he called all of his own plays.
Yeah, right.
And many good stories. Just one quick one, the Ice Bowl. He's on the sideline. It's the last play. What are they going to do? They're going to hand it off. Oh, I forgot the guy's name. He worked on Wall Street. The running back.
Jim Taylor?
No.
Not Paul Horning.
Chuck.
I'll pull it up. So go ahead.
Chuck Mersine.
Okay. Yep.
Oh my gosh, you got to give me some money for that one.
That was a good one.
But Bart Starr sees that the quarterback sneak could be there, so he takes it. But on the sideline, talking to Vince Lombardi, Lombardi goes, well, what do you think? He goes, well, we can run this play, or I can quarterback sneak it. And Lombardi goes, well, get it done. It's cold out here. Let's go. And he turns and walks away from him. And that's exact words that he told. Can you imagine that? Well, just call it. Let's win this thing and get out of here. I'm cold. And, it was that was really cool. But he was, again, you said it, didn't get the respect. Won those championships because it wasn't Super Bowls, not going to get the credit there either. But really just a change in era, a change in a lot of ways of professional football. And with Bart Starr, Vince Lombardi being there together.
Yeah, right. That's where I almost feel like Bart Starr gets pushed to the side a little bit because of Vince Lombardi. I almost
greatness around him overshadows.
Yeah, I'm sure you would know that feeling. Yeah, I mean, to me, the most common comparison, I think, to a Bart Starr and Vince Lombardi. Am I wrong here in saying it's Belichick and Brady? Now, I know Brady and the quarterback gets more credit this day and age, but to me, the Green Bay Packers seem like, the first version of the New England Patriots in the NFL, and now the New England Patriots are doing what the Packers did, and they're kind of one-upping it.
Right. I think it's a really good comparison. Of course, so many years, and it's so different. I think it would be hard for normal people to see that comparison. I know this for a fact. Many things about Vince Lombardi. Father Ken Moore, our team priest with the New York Giants, was
right.
Vince Lombardi's best friend.
Wow.
And he would talk about Vinny, Phil, and he would tell me many, many stories, and they were great. But Vince Lombardi, there's a book, When Pride Still Matters, one of the best sports books I've ever read. It was about Lombardi and through Fordham, Army, everything with the Giants and but he basically, not to say he was the first to do it, but the great Green Bay sweep.
Yeah.
They took it, and of course, when I see old films, they must have run the dang play 20 times a game.
Right.
But they changed the blocking scheme almost every time. In other words, the communication. The right tackle, I'll block the left guard's guy. You pull around and block my guy because we got better angles. Yeah, that's very commonplace now, but it wasn't then.
Right.
Back then, and you talk about early 60s and all that late, it's like, hey, you block the defensive end. Well, what if he lines up here, Coach? Don't worry about it. He won't. Just go get him.
Yeah.
So they were way in the forefront. And I don't mean to get off of Bart Starr, go to the Vince Lombardi. But Vince Lombardi, was he tough? Yes, he was. And you know all about the toughness because every high school coach up here in northern New Jersey was Vince Lombardi when you played football, Christopher.
Well, yeah. I mean, my high school coach, Mike Miele, he's got a connection with Vince Lombardi. That's who he tried to be. He's old school Italian, tough, hard ass, and will mother F your butt right away when you mess something up. And,
oh, my gosh. I mean, he had the voice that was the greatest football voice in quick story. You got a rich wide receiver. Don't say his name. Very good.
Yeah, right.
He had to run a 6-yard route. He ran it at 5. And I'm walking to practice, and I hear him going, rah, 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 rah. Let's count to 6 like your dad does. 1 million, 2 million. And I just went, wow, what a great line. And then one time I was walking up, and he was just tearing you up. And I went, I think I'm going to wait 5 more minutes back here at the car until this is over. Then I walked up to watch practice. So, but, you know, just I kind of lost my train of thought.
Well, you need a quarterback like Bart Starr, though, to, like, be able to handle a guy like that in the NFL?
Yeah. Is there one now?
Yeah, I mean, I don't. The only one again I can think of is maybe Brady, right?
You know, truth, but he was very tough. And my point being, he was really tough on him in practice and always. But you know, as you read the book, and you probably know these things, usually on Friday after practice or Saturday, he just would walk around and say, "How proud I am of you. You're just, I love you," and all this to all the players, and you know, which is. That's what Parcells was. He was a tyrant during the week. He was awful. He was truly every day. I don't know how he did it. He performed or perfected the act of coming in mad about everything every single day. But then there was that moment, you know, you get ready to play the game. Hey, go for it. Play loose. Let's go. Don't try to be perfect. It's not a game of perfection. Take chances. On and on. You know, it's so. And Vince, that comes from the Vince Lombardi book. Right out of the book, when you read it, he did the same thing to his players. He buttered them up before the game to make them feel great, so they could really perform up to their talent.
When you're born in 1955, so I know some of these Bart Starr years, you were still a young kid. But like when you were getting up there, you know, 10, 11, 12, 13 years old, was Bart Starr the guy at that age? Or was there anybody else? I mean, did Joe Namath or Len Dawson or Sonny Jurgensen or anybody else jump into that conversation? What was just take us back to that time.
Who did you want to be?
Who was your guy? Like,
well, but by the time I really got into it where, this is the guy, there was 2 guys. It was Terry Bradshaw and Roger Staubach.
Okay.
You know, it was those 2. You know, Bart Starr, I think I was still...
Yeah, you're young.
I wasn't to that stage where, man, you know, this is it. This is the guy and his number and everything like that. And so I wore number 12 in high school because of Terry Bradshaw and Roger Staubach.
Right.
And I always say the same thing. What was cool, I got to play against both. And it was an honor to lose to Roger Staubach twice my rookie year. and we had them down 2 scores. 4th quarter, I think, oh, my God, we're going to beat the Cowboys, and I'm going to beat Roger Staubach. I played well, 2 touchdowns my rookie year, and just right out of the book. They get the ball, bing, bam, boom, touchdown. We go 3 and out. Man, I miss a slant that could have won the game. I miss it. We punt. Bing, bang, boom, Cowboys. Roger, the comeback kid or whatever, they beat us.
Right.
It was really cool. I think I told you this. I walk across the field. There he is. Congrats. He goes, you really outplayed me today. And you know,
wow, he made it personal, like you versus him, huh?
Yeah, he just goes, you really outplayed me today. We got lucky. And I just was like, wow. You know, I don't doubt if I said a word. I just looked at him and was like, oh, thank you, Mr.
I'll lose every game if I get that kind of compliment.
Well, yeah, but that just says, you know, that's who he is. He is truly an unbelievable person. Stood on the field with him before Super Bowl when the Steelers were playing the Seahawks. And we're all going to get introduced to Super Bowl MVPs or something. And he goes, man, let's get a football and throw some. And I just go, Roger, I think we're supposed to stand here. He looks down. I think he sees Matt Hasselbeck or somebody. Hey, throw me the ball. And he throws the ball. Roger starts throwing the ball around. And, you know, that's him. He was just truly just one of those guys. So pretty cool.
I love hearing about the quarterback, because I think it was a different time. Obviously, it was a different time. We got the numbers on Bart Starr. When he retired, he was 8th in football in passing yards.
Right.
He is now 77th in football in passing yards, and so they throw so much more now. But as far as like the leadership and calling the plays, and the quarterback position just means so much. It still means a lot, obviously, but it seems like it means so much.
Well, just think of this before you talk, Chris. Just think of this. They had to manage people more than ever because, feelings are hurt, throw me the ball, this and that. It probably, as it wasn't as prevalent back then as it is now, where guys are so worried about their numbers in the game. They don't care if they win or lose a lot of times, as long as I get my numbers and things like that. So they were managing the game, for the coaches, but also all those players and so that's.
Well,
I actually called my own plays my rookie year, the second half of the game against the St. Louis Cardinals at the time, and I couldn't wait. He goes, "All right, you got it." I'm like, "Man, I'm ready." And I got in the huddle, go, "Damn, what am I going to call here?"
yeah, right.
It really, and there wasn't many formations or nothing back then. I was like, "All right, I'll just throw it." Okay, here I just called pass play. It was very, very hard. So I can't imagine, even as simple as the game kind of was back then, that it still had to be hard just to manage the game, manage the players, and of course manage the expectations of your head coach.
All right. Well, one last thing I want to ask you on that, and this is, I just want to give everybody what Dad and I have a number of topics, and I kind of talked to him. We're gonna hit some deep dive football stuff as we go on Tuesdays. Today, because of Bart Starr, I kind of wanted to go there, so that's where we're gonna keep it on there. But I have one last question before we get off the subject, and then we part ways for the day, Dad. When did the quarterback managing of the position change? I've heard you so many times. We're talking about Bart Starr today, of course, and yeah, it wasn't always about completion percentage, and I never throw an interception. Gosh, the year they won their second Super Bowl, I'm looking at his stats. He threw 9 touchdowns and 17 interceptions. It just was a different time. Dad, you've talked about how Bill Parcells used to be like, if you don't throw 2 interceptions today, you're not being aggressive enough. What changed it into this, completion percentage?
No matter what we do, I used to get so sick of going into production meetings and all the coaches, not all, we just can't turn it over.
Right.
They're just I'm like, oh my God, okay, don't take it. I said, kneel on the ball every play. Okay, come on. Go ahead, kneel on it. You win.
What changed it, though, in your eye? What was it? Is it the 49ers of the late 80s? Okay.
It's definitely, I think, was the 49ers. Bill Walsh and the so-called West Coast offense, it took a while too before people started copying it. But I watched it many times on film, and I would watch them as we were getting ready for a team that they had just played. And I go, "Oh my God, it looks so easy. They do so." Oh,
yeah.
There's Montana, he was graceful to begin with, and just throwing the balls to the running back, out of the backfield, running the route down the field. I just go, gosh almighty. So, and I just said this to you today, I can't remember all the guys, but I come up with these thoughts. Bill Walsh did something to change pro football. Vince Lombardi did things to change pro football the way it's played.
Right, the run
Buddy
game,
Ryan,
right, yeah.
with his defense, played the way it's still to this day, people play the Bear defense, of course, not the same way,
right.
But that was revolutionary. Lawrence Taylor changed pass blocking schemes in the NFL forever
right.
when he entered the league. And, and there's one I'm missing, and it drives me crazy. I can't think of it.
Well, it could be, I know we've had this conversation before. I'll throw one. I know we talked about Peyton Manning and all the line of scrimmage stuff. We've talked about that
Peyton
before.
Manning changed it. That's a great one. I had head coaches, I'd say something about Peyton, and they would say to me, "Oh, come on, are you kidding me? There's no way I'm putting my career in the hands of the quarterback. That's stupid." And da-da-da-da. Well, how'd it turn out?
Yeah, right.
And now that's expected of the quarterback.
Right.
For sure.
Right.
And probably a guy that I would put in that conversation without hesitation is somebody that's revolutionizes many things and changes and does things in different ways year in and year out. That's Bill Belichick.
Yeah,
It is a constant evolution of ideas, players, schemes, how to use the players, multidimensional. It just goes, everybody's thinking, well, I'll just say one thing. Everybody, we got to get to the quarterback. That never seems to be a theme for the Patriots.
You're right.
They do it with smart linebacker play, and they do it with matchups with defensive backs. They do it with defensive backs because they know, I'll never forget, they were playing a team in the playoffs. I'm not going to tell you who, and the quarterback was a little suspect. It was a big game, and I said something to him, and he goes, "Look, Steve Young, Joe Montana, Troy Aikman," he just keeps going down the list of these great quarterbacks. And then he says the quarterback he's playing against, "Sooner or later, Phil, it's going to be 3rd and 5. And then you know what? Just like clockwork, Run, 3rd and 5, throw it, interception. Brady comes in. First play, over-the-top touchdown. I just sit there and go, oh, my God.
Oh,
It's played out just like he goes, sooner or later it's going to be 3rd and 5. He knows 3rd down, so he's built his whole team around. So we'll talk about it later, about New England, just the deep. I just counted on their roster.
Right.
How many defensive backs do you think they have on their roster right now?
Oh, gosh. Knowing them right now, I'm going to say, what do they got, 12 on there right now?
Oh, Christopher, please. Remember, it's a bigger roster now.
What is it, 16?
19.
19. That's
19.
unbelievable.
They don't have 20 yet?
That's
19. And listen, he will somehow keep more than anybody else, stash a few on the practice squad. Somebody's going to get hurt, this and that. And we'll get into talking about that.
We're going to
later
talk about that
time.
next week. We are. We're going to talk about that next week.
Tease.
Patriots coverage and some of the things they do and what makes them special. I think that's worth the conversation. All right, we're done with you.
No, hold on. No, don't let him.
Wait, I'm about to ask me a question.
What?
I'm sorry. I
got one more
ahead.
before we go. I just want to know. So we're revealing his top 40 quarterbacks. Just really quickly, I just want to know if there's any egregious omissions so far where you think the guys are way highly ranked. He's doing his top 40 quarterbacks in the NFL. We just kicked it off today. He's got 40 as Tyrod Taylor, 39 as Colt McCoy, 38 as Dwayne Haskins, and 37 as Drew Lock. We just started, so the tip of the iceberg. But
Thank you.
From what you've seen so far and what you just heard there.
And I've already admitted that I might have put Tyrod Taylor a hair too low. I'm questioning myself as I've talked it out here.
So I know.
Yeah, well, you should have talked yourself out of it last night. I definitely would put Tyrod Taylor in front of Colt McCoy without question.
Right.
You know, I know all the things you say about, but I think Colt McCoy physically was not the same guy when I watched him play last year I'd seen like a couple years before.
Yeah.
Not as quick, not as fast. The arm didn't look as. It wasn't crisp. I didn't see the little pop in the arm they used to have. Tyrod Taylor, look, he is a great backup for a good football team. So, and then you got Dwayne Haskins, 37, you said?
Yeah, 38, and Drew Lock, 37.
38?
Yep.
Yeah, I would switch those two. I think Dwayne Haskins, just the size, the arm, the experience, through so many, I don't know. I think I feel a little more secure about Dwayne Haskins having success in the NFL than I do Drew Lock right now, because it's going to be a slower start for Drew Lock. But did we say this? How about Jay Gruden? I think we talked about it, Christopher, right?
Yeah.
After their mini camp.
Right.
Did you see him talking about Dwayne Haskins?
Yes, I talked about it a little on the podcast that week.
He made some throws on. And we know about the Grudens and how they value their quarterbacks.
Yeah.
It's all about,
No, I heard from some other people down there, too, that there was definitely some talk in the building after that first day or two of practice about Dwayne Haskins, and he was a little more impressive than I think they all thought he was going to be.
Oh, it's awesome. Hey, what's the most nervous day for front office people in the NFL?
I already did this. Yeah, I know that.
Oh, you stole it from me.
Yeah, this has been something you've talked about for years. I mean,
I know, but when you steal things from me, you got to say, my dad told me this. I just want.
But he'd have to do that for everything he says, though, right?
No.
You can't do that.
All right. Well, that's a good line, Dad. Thank you, guys. You guys have a great day.
See you, Dad.
All right.
So, later, Dad.
All right. You have his call, Dad.
I like that, too, because I'm glad that we got that in there, that you've revealed.
He's all over the place on the Dwayne Haskins, Drew Lock conversation. So I know
there are times that he is higher on Drew Lock.
Oh, my. Next week, if we ask him the same question, I think he'll go back and forth. He's gone back and forth between Drew Lock and Dwayne Haskins so many times in the pre-draft process. I was like, okay, just tell me the day of the draft, and we'll talk then.
Well, like father, like son.
It was very
You've
close.
gone back and forth on Tyrod Taylor and Colt McCoy.
It is. You're right. I'm going to be nitpicky. I feel good from here on out, though. The bottom of the list is the hardest part of the list to do. So
because they're very similar. Right? They're very similar.
Yeah, it's close.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.